The headline here is cuts force universities to rely on Chinese students. There's been a huge pushback, as we know, about immigration, about the graduate visa route, bringing in your relatives if you come and study in this country. This is taking a completely different tack.
Yeah, if we cut down on all of these other students, then we're going to rely entirely on the money that's brought in by overseas students from China. They do actually make up a very large percentage of that market, but there are many controversies that come with that. I think first and foremost we have to say that it's a real sign of quite what a bad situation the university sector is, that we have to rely actually on bringing in people from overseas. That wasn't what universities initially were for, about creating a culture of excellence, and even the move to create a situation where 50% of school leavers went to university in this country was not about turning universities into effectively giant accreditation factories, which is very often what they are now with a lot of these overseas students. And in fact, just limiting it to Chinese students doesn't solve that issue, because a lot of Chinese students come here for that reason as well. There was, of course, the story recently in the Times to do with plagiarism and the amount of cheating that was going on with overseas students, but specifically about Chinese overseas students. And that is because ultimately they bring in a lot of money, so we're more than happy to have them because they pay for things that other people can't currently afford to pay for, because we aren't going to raise the currently levels of tuition fees for people in this country. They get rubber-stamped a degree in things like town planning or things like that. Very often, actually, courses that people from this country are told not to apply for because they're told that's what that is there for, that's for people to come from overseas. They don't necessarily do all the work because they pay other people to do the work for them. Then they go back to China, at which point they have a degree from a Western university.
Yep.
And then they are able to enter the jobs market at a higher rate than people who are not wealthy enough to go to a Western university. So it's a scam on people from China coming here, it's a scam on our own university sector, but that is now how we fund and are able to subsidise people going to university in this country. I don't think it's particularly fair, but there we are. That's what we've decided to do. We've decided to marketise our universities like we have in the United States, but we are just going to pay less than what people pay for them in the United States. And it's just not really a system that's working effectively well, is it?
I think some overseas students do the work. Don't you think? I don't think they're all cheating. I'm sure some of them are
Obviously,
very
I'm generalising, but the rates
Yeah.
of plagiarism amongst Chinese students, we should not laugh this off. The amount of plagiarism that goes on, especially from Chinese students,
that's a different argument, because we're actually talking about the amount of money people are paying to go to university. I actually think one of the biggest issues was saying 50% of people should go to university. I'd rather people went and became apprentices for great jobs, skills in this country.
I would kind of struggle with that, because I think absolutely not everyone needs to go to university, but there is also this argument that then the only people that get to go are sort of, wealthy middle class kids to go and study certain kinds of subjects, and it slightly does reinforce the class structure, and everyone should enjoy those kind of couple of years away from home. It's such an education in lots of other ways apart from just what you're learning. But that sort of snobbery that unless you have a degree, your qualifications aren't worth much, I think is also something we should step away from.
But once upon a time, that wasn't the case in this country. You didn't need to have gone to university to actually get on in life. And apart from things like engineering or medicine, actually, very often, people do not need to go to university. But what they're told, and what great swathes of people are told now, 50% approaching, is that you need to go to university to get on in life. That means going to a place where you don't necessarily know, you've never been before, you don't know the first thing about it, and taking on huge amounts of debt that initially you were told you'd never pay any interest on, but they changed the rules on that.
But this all
it's not a fair system.
This all links back to building houses, infrastructure in this country. If we need plumbers and electricians, carpenters, we need all of these things, and you can earn a very good wage doing that. We need to re-educate the country on what it is to be a skilled tradesman.
Benedict, I don't know what you're talking about. My 3-year degree in acting has done me very well. I can play a tree in all different seasons. Well, it has in a way, but also the debt that I accrued from that time at drama school is astounding. And I'm still paying it off.
I have to be honest.
I don't even look at it because I don't.